I feel like that was the wrong countdown.
Well, but we're live, so I guess it's not going to matter.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show, Thrive and Edu. Thrive and EDU. What is our thing called? I am so tired. Thrive
Well,
o'clock.
it is. It's Thrive and EDU, and it's Thrive o'clock,
Yes.
and we are live, and it's Friday, and it's all good. It's all
I
good.
made a new intro for us and I uploaded
know.
it. I'm so angry. I'm at myself. I don't know what happened, but it's great to see everybody. Next week we'll have our new intro. I loved it. It had all our new pictures on it from all the times that we've taken good pictures together.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, like, it is what it is, right?
What are you
But
going
we're
to do?
going to talk about, like, we were ready, we were set. There was a slight fail, but we're good, right? We're going to bring it back, and there may or may not be something coming up a little bit later that's that same kind of sequence, just saying. So thanks to everybody who's joining in. That's who I am. I finally took off the ISTE live speaker because ISTE has actually passed right now. But anyway, I've been looking forward to seeing you, Mel, and for our guests today, because we always have such a good time with all of our guests and together. But I have a feeling today is going to be a lot of fun. And I think a lot of educators and whoever joins us now live or later is going to be very thankful, because it's been a stressful, long week, maybe beginning into school. So
Yeah. Is it conference time for you guys?
coming up, yes, we just our first 9 weeks ended today, which it felt like it was an eternity. The kids are like, it went so fast. I was like, but did it really? I don't know. But yeah, we have a clerical day on Monday on Halloween. And then the following week, we have teacher conferences and a professional development day. So
Well, I want to give a shout out to Anchorage Stream Academy. My kids, I went to their student-led conferences yesterday and it was pretty cool. I mean, my kids are terrible at, doing it, but it's their first time,
yeah.
And my husband was like, well, I want to know more about this. And I'm like, chill. He's a sixth grader. He's not a professional. He's like, well, the paper says I can ask. It was funny.
Learning for everyone.
Right. Anyway, but they do a great job. I love all his teachers and my daughter's teachers, and they're just a great school. So shout out to all them. Oh, and shout outs. Shout outs. We have a really important shout out today.
We do. We have a shout out because it is my dad's birthday. So dad got a fun shirt today that, should I tell you what it said?
Yes.
I don't know. Some people laughed at this. Some people were like, okay, it said, I don't need Google because I have my daughter. I don't need Google. My daughter knows everything is what it was.
So, and he would be right.
It's not really totally true. It was either that or a shirt from Super Troopers that was like, listen up, meow. But they didn't have the right size in stock. So
poor guy.
Anyway, but I did get him a nice gift card for dinner, and I made him a video with Flip this morning. That was a lot of fun doing that. I put some cats in it and, did some of the background. So yeah, he had a very multimedia, very interesting birthday celebration. Yes. And my students made him a card too, which was really sweet. So yeah, sweet. So happy birthday to Dad.
You are awesome, Jim. Number one dad. Awesome. Any more shout outs? You want to do any more shout outs? Meow. No. I'm just reading our guest
I know. Messages. Yeah, let our guests do this shout out.
I have some shout outs. Can I go?
Okay. You sure
I want to give a good shout out to my friend Jeff Spearglass. He is so awesome. He was on my book chat this last week, and he's just an amazing, amazing author. I love every single one of his books. Claire Romzik was on my podcast this morning. She's so cool. She's a Nevada educator, and I just love them. Oh my God. And I want to give a shout out to the DigSit Institute, Mary Alice Curran and Eugenia Tamez. This whole last month, they've been doing DigSit, social media takeovers, and they're just doing a great job. And today was Namya's, how do you say her last name?
Joshi.
Yes, it was her takeover today. So she's been doing things about podcasts. So well done, crew.
Yeah, and Namia, she's fabulous, and she's one that I want to have come and join us at some point. But with the time difference, we got to figure
Is
that
it
out for her.
appropriate though to have her on our show? I'm just saying.
I think we would have a great conversation with her because she just does so much. So anyway,
She's awesome.
Speaking of people who do so much, our guests.
I would definitely not be able to cuss on that show.
No, we wouldn't.
I wouldn't do that. Okay.
Yeah. We might have to pre-record it and then edit it, just saying. Throw that out there.
All right. Are you ready to introduce our amazing guest that's coming up?
Yes.
All right. Let's do this.
All right.
Should we say kind things about him first and then bring him up? Or do you want me to bring him up and then say kind things about him?
We should. Well, if he couldn't hear us, we could talk about him first. But it would all be good things. And he's shaking his head back there.
He's the only hooker we've ever let come on the show. And we don't have anything against hookers or anything.
No. But he has been on our show before. And if anybody has not seen the episode, I will make sure that I share that back out because that was a very fun conversation with tons of laughs. So we're gonna bring him up.
Boom.
Mel's gonna boom.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey, Carl Hooker.
Do I get a walk-up song? Do I got to play my own? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, do you have one?
Let's see if you can hear it.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, this is AC/DC.
It was
No, I got it. Here, this is better.
That's a good one.
Okay, there we
That's
go.
nice. Is that what, if you were walking up to home plate, that's what you would have?
That's what I need.
Right?
Yes, I got 5 on it.
Nice.
Also, a Jordan Peele movie. Scary season, spooky season is here. I see, Mel, you're dressed for the occasion.
Oh yeah.
No, this is just my everyday hat, Carl.
Show the earrings.
You're just Do people call you a witch?
Sometimes, and sometimes they switch it around to the other word.
Just flip it a little bit, little turn of phrase there. Yes. Well, thank y'all for having me on again. I'm glad to be back. To be a part of the mayhem that is Thrive. Yes. Clock.
Yeah. And if there wasn't mayhem before, we are already 7 minutes into some good mayhem today. So just saying. Tis the season.
Oh yeah.
And we've only just begun. Actually, Mel's only just begun. I'm usually the reserved one. We'll see.
And I'm not even drinking. I'm just tired, is all I'm saying. You know?
It is Friday. So
I need a drink.
Cheers.
It is Friday. So if anybody doesn't know Carl, hey Marja, well, thanks for joining us.
A little trivia fun. There we go.
Carl does a lot of things, and Carl is always busy. And Carl did an amazing trivia night last night, which I didn't join in this one, but I try to join all of them, and they are like, you are so great at those trivia nights and events that you do. And I know you do a lot of them, but for anybody who doesn't know enough about you yet, would you let everybody know who you are and what you do?
I break it down into numbers nowadays. So 24 years as an educator. I'm a 4-time podcast host, 7-time author, 2-time bar owner, 3-time father, and 1-time husband.
Wow.
Oh, and one time.
That's totally rad. Did you say you're a one-time husband?
1-time husband. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and knock on wood there because still a 1-time husband, by the way. Yeah. As I introduced her as my first wife, she does not like that introduction. I told her she's welcome to introduce me as her first husband, and I think that's fine.
I like it.
I like the breakdown with the numbers there, and we have something in common. And I said this in that conversation I was telling about earlier today. I was like, I have the same number of books as Carl, and I remember like when all of your mobile learning mindsets, like all those books came out, I was like, how did he write all of these books? Like, how do you do it?
Did I ever tell you the story about why I wrote 6 books?
I think you did, but I wouldn't mind a
know.
refresher. Yeah.
I don't even know.
Another thing I was left out.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is, I don't usually share this, but I've been sharing this more and more outwardly. So sometimes people are motivated by positive pressure. Sometimes people are motivated by people that think that they can't do something. You guys feel that way sometimes? Like,
for sure.
Someone says like, oh, you can't do that. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to prove it to you that I can. So I was sitting in the office of my former boss at the time. He and I are good friends now. He's retired, so I can tell the story, but he basically told me, he's like, hey, Carl, I need this engaging speaker for this event that we're going to do. It's an ed tech thing. And I was like, hey, I'm right here. And he goes, I would never hire you. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, no, you see that bookshelf over there? And I go, yeah, you see all those books on the shelf by all those authors? I was like, yeah. He goes, until you've written 6 books, I will never hire you. I would never hire you as a speaker. That's just a threshold that, people in the industry believe or whatever. This is a very old school way of thinking. I know. So what did I do? Like 2 months later, I signed a 6-book contract with ISTE. I write the books in 18 months. He retires. And on the last day of his retirement, the last book gets published. So I show up to his retirement party. And what do I have with me? I have a package with all 6 books in it. I've autographed each one with a different saying to them. And I basically tell the story. Now, my employees know, like, they're like, oh God, Carl, don't, be nice on the microphone. And my wife's like, be nice. And I was like, no, it's gonna be great. And so I tell the story.
I would be like, roast them.
I did a little bit, but when I told the story, I was like, I just want to tell you, you motivated me to do this. And it meant a lot to me. And he started crying and people started crying. And I'm like, my wife's like, how did you do that? I was like, I know. I just kind of gave the dug him back, but also at the same time complimented him because he did. He told me, like, you need to do this to do it to me anything. So I wrote 6. I would never do that again. That was a bad idea. But now that Rachelle says she's got 7, I feel like I'm going to have to write one now just to stay ahead.
Carl, maybe we should just write one together.
Hey,
and like,
that should be lucky number 13. Let's plan 13 together.
Okay. That sounds like a plan for me.
Yeah, so we did this great trivia night. We invited everybody on the planet except for Mel, but everybody else was able to come, and it was a great event. We had 600, maybe 700 people there, but no, the trivia night stuff has been fun, and that was a pandemic add-on that I kind of kept going, and I'm going to do it live at Nicegate actually later in November. Yeah.
Oh my God! What day? I might be able to make this one if I'm invited.
What day can you come? And I'll make sure
I'll be there until Monday. I'm leaving Monday morning.
Oh, it's going to be Monday night then. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. It's Saturday night. Saturday night at Nicegate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming up Saturday. We're going to do it early. We did it on Sunday last time. But we're going to do it on Saturday. It's like 9:00. But the New York people stay up late, so we'll do two different games.
City that never sleeps.
I know.
New York City.
Well, Rochester kind of sleeps, but
Rochester, yeah.
I get the feeling it's like an event to keep people kind of in the building and not explore the town of Rochester, but I don't know much about Rochester, but anyway.
I don't either, actually.
I know that Kodak used to be there and then it went away, and there's a bunch of other businesses that have gone away, and it's kind of gone through anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should come.
I know that it's very hard to get to from Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up and over. You go up and over, I think. Yeah.
I had to book some crazy flights.
It's like 5.5 hours, I think, of a drive from Pittsburgh, but it's, I don't know. And it's not a nonstop flight either. So you have to go whatever.
Yeah.
What other things are you doing at Nicegate?
I'm doing a couple of sessions. I'm doing a book signing, and I think I'm doing a Ready, Set, Fail session, and one of my favorite sessions we've been doing lately is this Nailed It, based on the popular TV show, only the ed tech version of it. So it's very much predicated on the belief that you can just go forward and try something. And if you make a mistake, of course, just like failure, just recover from it and learn from it. So it's a series of time challenges that I give the folks in the audience. They have different ways of submitting. There's prizes, very interactive. They have to build and do a lot of different things. But yeah, very much like Nailed It. So we celebrate the failures, and sometimes the biggest mistakes get the most votes, and it's just kind of fun. But all in the ed tech lens. I mean, everything's like create this, mock up a book cover with a moment in history using nothing but emojis or something like that. So it's a kind of mixture of things. So we try that. It's pretty fun.
Sounds amazing. I hope I'm invited to that. I'll try to see.
That one is Monday. It is Monday. I'm not really messing with you. I think that one's Monday afternoon. So I don't know what time you do on Monday, but it's like Monday at 2.
Sad.
It's a good after lunch session, if that makes sense. Like, when people after lunch, you're like, all right, I can sit here and listen to someone talk for an hour, but I'll fall asleep. But I mean, people have to move and do a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's
for sure. So tell us a little bit. Is it okay that I want to know a little bit more about your new book?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I see somebody in the chat actually has our book too. Ready, Set, Fail. So
a book?
It's a book. I have his book. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one. Mel, is it this one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So.
Okay. That's good. Thank you for your purchase. Ready, Set, Fail. was born about when I was looking at what my own 3 daughters were doing in school and how they were kind of, I feel like schools are built as places of conformity and compliance. Like that's how you ace the game of school. However, that's not how you ace the game of life. And so for me, I wanted to figure out a way to tweak it in a way that's not changing curriculum. I mean, acknowledging all the assessments that we still have to do, but saying, are there simple strategies that we can use in our classroom to really encourage risk-taking and failure in a classroom setting? And it starts with the classroom culture, building culture, and all of that. So in the book is lots of different activities built around that. I even address, like, what do you do if you're a teacher in a culture that doesn't like you to take risks? Because there are some of those cultures out there that we work with. So we talked a little bit about that. And then what I usually ask everybody is, like, have you ever failed? I mean, have you two ever failed?
Never.
Not Melody. No, yeah, I mean, but yeah.
I'm a perfect witch.
You're perfect. Yeah.
Multiple times today alone, let me tell you.
Yeah. Every day, right? We fail every day. But if I asked you both, do you consider yourself a failure? No, it's a different question, right? So, and I do this of audiences too. I'm like, how many of you failed? And everybody raise their hand. How many of you are failures? Every now and then, 1 or 2 people like raise their hand. Like, no, we'll talk later. I feel so bad for you. But no. So that's kind of the premise behind the book is, again, encouraging that risk-taking element in the classroom. And then when the failures do come, not treating it like a bad word. Failure is acceptable. It's encouraged, and it takes courage.
It's the F word that is acceptable and celebrated.
There we go. What would be some that are not celebrated? Fudge. No, I'm just joking. Because, allergies and whatnot.
Yes, exactly that.
Sure. That was it.
Are you a chef in this book?
This is funny. A funny story. So I was a 12-year-old, and I decided once. This is what also made me realize at school there was a game of school. I was 12 years old, straight A student, super compliant. I know it's hard to believe, but I did everything right. I knew exactly what the teacher wanted, and I always got the A. One year, I decided in 6th grade to go home, and instead of doing the assignment where I had to write down the recipes on a note card, we had this Panasonic over-the-shoulder VHS recorder.
Yes.
So, yes. You remember that thing? It weighed like 40, 50 pounds. But there's no video editing software. It was like, if you wanted to edit it, you had to rewind it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Rewind it and then record over it. And then, so I was doing this cookie recipe over and over and over again. And I decided that's going to be my lesson. So I bring in a tape. We find like the one TV VCR combo in the entire school, the one on the wheels that was in the library. And we wheel it into the classroom. We set the tape in there, and the kids cheer. They loved it. It was hilarious. I got an F. It was the first F I ever got in school because I didn't follow directions. And now another irony that just happened right before this podcast, this vodcast, I guess, is I burned my hand in that video. And literally right 10 minutes ago, before I got on, same spot, I just burned my hand again.
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
Which is funny because I already had a scar there from, you'd think I would learn, right? Sometimes you learn from your mistakes.
Maybe you're a failure. Maybe
I am. I lean into it. I know I fail. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It's a difference. But yes, I fail a lot.
It's all good.
So good. I know that I can say funny things with you, Carl. But I definitely don't think you're a failure. That's pretty amazing, actually. Definitely. And I'm actually ready to read your book. I might have to get the Kindle version too, because I have a problem with waiting for things.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. You're an impatient witch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just want to twinkle your nose and make it happen, right? Yeah.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah,
for sure.
For real.
Yeah. So what is different about? I'm just curious. This is the book chat part of me. What is different about Ready, Set, Fail that you really liked about this book as opposed to your other books?
Is this being recorded? Yeah.
It
is. Okay. Well, so the truth is, I mean, those other books are very much technical books. I mean, Mobile Learning Mindset was like a book designed for a teacher, a book designed for a principal, that's why I had 6 of them, one for each member of kind of like the parent community, about implementation of mobile devices and mobile learning in the classroom. And then the first start of that book, like in 2016 when I wrote it, I said, what do you imagine would happen if like all of a sudden you had to rely on technology? Like if all the schools were closed, but you only had to learn with technology, like what do you think? And I didn't say the word pandemic, but just imagine. And that was way before that. But those books are very technical. They're aligned to ISTE standards. They were written and published by ISTE. So this book, while there are some ISTE threads, it's very much my book, my stories, my mistakes, my failures. And Matt Joseph, who is a great publisher, he does Codebreaker. He does X Factor, which is a part of Codebreaker, Brian's outfit up there in Canada. So just awesome. I was the second book that he published, and he said, do you want to publish through me? I've only done one other book. And I was like, if the whole book is about risk taking, why not? So I think my exact phrase I sent to him was F it. Only I didn't use fail. and said, let's go ahead and do this. And so I did, and we signed with them, and he's been a great supporter. Now he's added a ton of people now. He's got about 15 or 20 authors now.
Yeah, and I got to meet Matt a couple of weeks ago in person, so that's really cool.
Were you
Or
at
last week, I guess.
Maskew?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's really cool. Well, congratulations, and I
Thank
really
you.
am looking forward to reading it.
I appreciate that.
A great
Yeah.
one.
And Rachelle, you have some. Oh, so somebody else loves Matt. Matt, we love you. Shout out to you.
Have you had Matt on the show yet?
We have had Matt on the show.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah. It's like to go back and think about, we have been doing this show for over 2 years now.
Over
Yeah.
2 years.
It's crazy because like when
It's
you
getting
show
worse.
what do you mean it's getting worse? It's getting worse. It's getting worse.
The guests are getting worse, or is it like
I mean, I wouldn't think that'd be the time to
That's what I
say
was
that
saying,
right
the
now.
guests.
Yeah, like you got to
We're
wait till
just-
I'm off stage before you say
No.
that. I mean, I saw your
No.
lead in twice, so I understand how great the amount of people you've had on the show is because I got to watch it twice today. But yeah,
Well, yeah, but you've been on. I mean, it's your second time being on now.
true.
So
I'm honored. Am
Were
I
you-
one of the few multi?
Were you in the intro?
You
were in the
are.
intro. Weren't
I'm
you?
pretty
No,
sure.
I wasn't on the intro.
I
No.
thought he was.
I
He's
made-
in the intro.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch it in slow motion, but I'm
Oh,
pretty sure.
I can do it right now. Let's. You want
No,
me to do it
no,
right
not
now
again,
for the
please.
third time.
Let me take up my headphones. Okay. no.
Yeah, right. No. Yeah, that we've had a few on. Like you've been on twice, and Dr. Desiree Alexander has been on a couple of times. Weston and Molly Kieschnick have been on twice. I'm trying to think who else.
I've been on like
Tom
almost
Murray's
every
been
one
on
of the
twice.
shows.
Me
Excluding a few.
too,
Rachelle
except
has been on all of the shows.
except for that time the power went out
Oh, and you
and-
fell asleep and
and
didn't
I fell
wake up.
asleep.
And Elizabeth and I, yeah.
During the
that-
show?
Yes.
No.
I couldn't
Oh, I
get her
was
to
like-
text.
God.
Rachelle, where are
Like,
you?
who was your guest then? You're like,
It was Elizabeth Bostick.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, yeah, and I took a power nap,
That went a
and
little long.
Mel was like calling and texting, and then I'm like, I'll be right there, and I was
The show
totally like,
must go
right there.
on.
I know. Yeah,
I could have
that's
been on the
okay.
show today, but instead I took a nap. It was a very good nap.
I was very tired, but the technology failed me. Where's the good old alarm clock? You know,
I
I
know.
had an Oscar the Grouch one time, and he would pop out of the can. And
Yes!
like, wake up, wake up.
Right next to your Snoopy phone. Yeah.
I didn't have the Snoopy phone though, but I had that. And if that didn't work, my mom came in with a spray bottle and sprayed my face to wake me up. So
Yeah,
either way, I was winning.
there you go.
For sure. Mel was
Oh,
a-
yeah,
Mel,
Alice
yeah,
did.
Mel came on and Alice was a co-host, so that was cool for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do we want to talk about scary things about teaching or do we want to jump into our game?
I will let Carl choose on this one.
Okay, Carl.
Let's go scary, and then we'll end with the game.
I love it.
okay.
Let's do it. Scary things about teaching. Do I get to read any of my inappropriate stories?
Yes, just here's what we do: read them Mad Lib style, and we'll sub in the word,
Oh my
the
God.
inappropriate word.
Oh, that would have been so good. I can't do that on the spot though. That's a little bit more
Oh,
brain.
Mel, come on, you can do everything.
Can we just go beep? And then all of a sudden, that little beep kid came up to me and said beep.
Oh.
Scary things about teaching. I will say one thing, scary thing about teaching before you read one, like finding things on the floor that you're not sure what they are. Like,
Right.
You know,
are you
and
talking
like-
like bodily fluidy type
like
stuff? Or
just random. I mean, like, is that dirt on the floor? Like, is that a clump of mud? Or is that
yeah.
not?
Yeah, we had a Mr. Hanky moment once. I don't know how you're familiar with that episode of South Park, but I used to teach first grade,
Yeah.
and my best friend Chris Parker and I would teach next to each other, and we had this joint bathroom. And there was a kid, and I don't know why, but he never could quite make it into the toilet. And so, yeah, let's just say we walked in there, and standing up was Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. He'd come to visit us, and we would just like rolled. We were both disgusted and laughing at the same time.
Yeah. Like, what else do you
Um,
do, right?
And it just come out. Mr. Hanky had just come out on South Park, so I was like, "Oh my God, we are totally having that moment. We need to dress him up." And no.
Oh my gosh.
my
Well, it's
God.
funny that you guys say that because this morning after my podcast, I saw the dog come in and then everything I was ending the broadcast and I smelled something strong and she left Mr. Hanky's all over the place for me. I'm like, what?
She left you
What?
presents.
She did.
That
She-
witch.
That
Yeah,
that
definitely.
that was
Ah.
but she truly is one. She truly is one.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay,
true. You could say that.
For sure. I mean, at the dog shows, that's what it says. It
That's
says
true.
the
She's the-
bitches.
Yeah, they are. There's a
She-
whole bunch.
that's the
Usually
part-
they
she's
have a
on the
bunch of
bitches.
bitches there. They usually have a
She's-
bunch of them there. Yeah.
So many bitches. It's crazy. Okay. I have a story. Can I read a really this is probably
Okay.
the most non-inappropriate one, but it's still inappropriate, but it's okay for Rachelle. I think it'll pass. So this is
Okay.
a student wrote this and said, it's very short. My favorite teacher ever, English freshman year of high school, walked up to my desk, picked up my whiteout, took a super deep sniff, shuddered, and said, "That's the stuff," and walked away.
Oh, I love it.
You see Carl's face. He was like,
I was waiting to. I was like, wait, what just happened?
oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know if y'all were teachers back in the day when they used to have the mimeograph. I mean, that was like right at the edge of my beginning of my teaching career.
Yeah.
But I remember walking by in high school and seeing like teachers just hanging out in that room, and they were just, that little machine would go, and they'd all walk out of there and have this like calmness. It was like, wellness before it was wellness. The ink from that stuff, it was like a toxic fumes, but it actually like, it was almost like doing whippets or something, because they'd walk out of there and they just feel great, man. They're like,
well, when you were a
I'm happy.
student,
I was a student though. I was like a student aide. I didn't have like my senior year. I didn't have many classes. I was in a little tiny high school in Texas, so I tested out of everything. So I basically just helped teach a couple of classes, which got me into teaching. But that's when I got to experience it. And they also smoked back then too.
I was going to say, I do remember.
Pillars
I remember smelling the smoke from the teacher's lounge. I do remember that.
Oh, those machines! Like I have the man that taught Spanish before me used to use those, and he like wrote in cursive, and so I've kept some of them because when I teach that STEAM course, we talk about technology and how it changes, and I'm like, check this out, and like it still smells, and I explained to them like what you had to do to make copies and the cranking of that, and the kids are like, oh, it smells disgusting, or
But they smelled it. You would smell the paper too. I mean, you put it up to your face. I need to make a drink at the bar called the mimeograph, and maybe have it have some sort of scent that's pleasing though.
With a nice side of chips too.
Yeah. Yes.
It would be bitter, but I mean, I don't know. I would probably drink it.
Yeah, we got to try. Yeah. I'm working on a show. Well, I can't tell you the name of it because I just realized it's not appropriate even to share on the show. It's okay though. It's okay. When you own a bar, you get to hear all sorts of funny stories. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, Mel's crying in Colombia right now.
Yep.
I'm crying. Do you want to hear any more inappropriate stories, or do we have scary things about teaching? Mel, what is the scary thing about teaching in Colombia?
Yeah, I want to hear what Mel has to say about that too. Because I mean, if we're talking about modern times, the scariest thing about teaching is also one of the reasons why I write in the book about why people don't take risks and why they're not being as creative as they want to be, is because there's this great fear of exposure and judgment that exists now. With social media is a big part of it, and school board's gone wild and all of that. So to say you're going to try something new and different, there's a big fear that like if I do that and mess up, then all of a sudden, the internet's going to rain down on me.
Right.
So it's almost like we're pressured to not make mistakes and not try new things because of that. So not to make this an educational moment in the podcast, but just tying that in.
I have another inappropriate story to share, and I think it's scary. My calculus teacher, this student wrote in and said, my calculus teacher forces kids who are late to class to eat pickled herring.
Oh man.
And that's, since we were talking about bitches, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes. That is a heck of a thing to have. We had a teacher once who used to make the kids do the book hold. Do you remember that? Where you had to like hold the books in front of class? I never had to do it, luckily, but there was you'd have to stand in front of the class and hold heavy textbooks for 5, maybe 10 minutes in front of everybody while he continued to go ahead and teach the class. I don't know why they got rid of that.
We used to do so many crazy things when we were young. It's crazy, all the things that they could do then. I mean, that's what's scary, is all the things that we all lived through. And now it's like, it's frowned upon or whatever.
But what do you think they should bring back, though? I mean, should they bring back, not necessarily for teaching, but what's something of your past that kids that born in this century never get to experience that we should bring back somehow?
The Dewey Decimal System.
There we go.
Oh my God, we were talking about that. No.
I mean, that's kind of fun. I feel like a rotary telephone would be fun, or dial-up internet would be fun, just so they have to deal with.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's funny, like, 20 years ago, we were used to that sound and waiting 5 minutes for the page to load. Now when a page is like less than a second, we're screaming and yelling, slamming our computer. We're so impatient.
I have a rotary phone. Like I have like all these old phones and when in a Walkman and with the earbuds and stuff. And when students walk in at the beginning of the year, I'm like standing there with the rotary phone. They're like, that's so cool. I'm like, not when you were like 13 and you get to the last number and your fingers don't fit and then you have to dial again, or like
it's totally mess up. Yeah.
Or you like walk too far and the cord, it yanks it and that like 10-pound phone drops on your foot. I'm like, not fun. Not fun at all.
Nope.
Yeah. My kids have a hard enough time talking on like a cell phone. It's humorous, like watching them talk on it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
They don't know how to say goodbye. It's like, yeah. You know that the phone is the number 6 use of your actual cell phone, like using it as a phone. There's 5 other uses. What do you think the other 5 are?
Texting is number 1, right?
Texting, social media considered 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say like a calculator.
That's number 8.
Camera.
Oh, wow.
Camera is number 2.
Wow.
I would say streaming videos, entertainment, anything like that, or video games. I think
video entertainment is 7. I think.
Oh, really?
Alarm clock is number 3.
What about shopping?
Flashlight.
Oh yeah.
4,
yes.
And then navigation like GPS.
Out at a restaurant, man, that flashlight for me is always on. I cannot see that menu.
Are you? Yeah, you're the flashlight at a restaurant age. So am I. Thank you. Yes, I've made it to that age.
The lights, they're dim, and then the font is so small. I'm like, who in the world can read this?
Yeah, it's really just an age test. There's millennials in the background laughing at us. I mean,
well, there should be a sign on the door that says, if you're this age, you're not going to be able to read our menu. Bring in a flashlight if you don't have a cell phone. Like, if you have a flip phone, bring in a flashlight.
Yes.
For sure.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, guys. 30 minutes is up. I want to honor everybody's time. Like, do we still want to play? Do we want to?
I could go about 5-6 more minutes. You want to do the either or?
I don't care. I actually want to be more inappropriate. That's what I like.
Did you see my eyes pop on my face? I'm like, what?
You mean more?
More? Yeah.
How close can she get to the edge before we're canceled, folks? That's what we're really trying to play. That's the game we're about to play. What can come out of her? Yeah.
The scary things about teaching, we were talking about this before the show. Scary things about Twitter. What do you predict? That's what we'll end with. What do you predict? If you don't know, and I'm sure that you do, Elon Musk has bought Twitter, which I hoped would never happen. I was so grateful when it didn't happen this summer, but here it is. What are some scary things now that we are thinking of that is going to happen to Twitter?
I mean, the free speech, and I mean, I'll go to our legal consultant on the show here and ask her what she thinks about this. But I mean, I know that his big platform is like opening up all speech and going completely free speech, which means hate speech is back. And I just had a conversation with some librarians yesterday that were already kind of fearful because they're getting attacked on social media about book choices. You know how that's a thing now. So to me, I feel like it's going to get really ugly and messy. And I think if people are okay with that, then join it and be a part of it. But I think we're gonna have to start finding some alternatives. I have some ideas, but yeah.
What are your ideas? I'm curious. What is the platform you like that you want to see blow up more?
I mean, I personally, because I'm a co-founder of it, so it's total conflict of interest for me to share this, but I'll go and share it. We launched a program called K-12 Leaders. It's a website. It started as a website, then became a social media platform. We started
K-12 leaders. Susie, I met Susie Brooks.
Susie was at MassQ. There's a big group of them there. And it started as just a way for us to connect, a safer space. Like, we were vetting people. Like, even today, we had to go through a person that tried to get in there kind of spammy. Like, we don't want it to turn into LinkedIn because that's gotten spammy. So we had somebody we had to kick out today for that very reason. So it's very much a protective space for educators to connect. My big reason behind it, I go to a conference, I download an app, I look at the people on the app, I connect with them, and then 2 weeks later, I delete the app and I forgot. So keeping us connected from conference to conference. So at NiceGate, we're actually going to use it as part of the back channel. The entire conference is going to use it, which is kind of cool. So
nice.
We're trying to make it a connected space. Again, the LinkedIn, the first year in 2008, they had about 491 members after year one. We're about 800 and some, which isn't bad in our first year. So if you get on there early, you actually get to choose your name. Like, mine is @Carl. So.
Oh my gosh. Can you put the link? Can we share the link?
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I want to get signed up early.
I'll put it in the private chat.
I want to be the number one melody or the number one bitch. I mean, I don't know which one. Could I put it together? Is that
number one? What'd you say? Number one what? What number
melody.
One? What? Oh, I thought you said which. Oh, just which.
She said something else.
I thought so. You know what? And there's all sorts of groups we can create in there. So different interests. So if you like, if you want to run with a pack of witches, that's fine. Or if you're if you're into dogs and want to hang out with a bunch of bitches, you can do that too. I mean, it's all good. All accepted. Yes. Within the realm of education, of course.
Yes.
So anyway, I want to hear Rachelle. I want to hear our legal expert's thought on the path of Twitter. And we don't really know, but he's fired a few people just in the first couple of days. So
I don't know. Like, I worry about, I mean, just minor things like, is Twitter going to disappear, or like, is something going to happen with like the algorithms or like your followers and all the work that you've put into that and creating that space and those connections? Like, how is that going to impact it? Because we've become so reliant. Well, not everybody, but I've become reliant on, even though I was like, I don't need Twitter, but that's how I connect with a lot of people and get involved in a lot of chats. And I wonder if somebody's going to go in and mess with, like I said to you earlier before or maybe even while we were live, is I'm looking at it and I don't recognize anybody that's in my feed. I'm like, who are these people? And I can't unfollow them. I'm not even following them in the first place. And I can't I don't want to block them necessarily, but I don't recognize anybody. So it's weird. And I also noticed I haven't been getting as many notifications either. So I don't know if that's something just within like the app on my phone versus being on the computer. But yeah, the speech, I wonder about that too. But then with the filters and things that they have set up there to kind of analyze that, but there's still things that it's going to get through. It's not going to catch everything. And that needs to be something that's turned on or off, I guess. So I don't know. I forget. There was something about Facebook, I think maybe I had read, and when it comes to like the AI and kind of grabbing all those things and had the percentages it broke down before. And that might've been like a year or two ago that came out. And it was amazing at like what it was missing and what it was letting through to be posted. So I don't know, but it'll be an interesting lesson for all educators, especially in the month of October, like talking digital citizenship and all of those things. I mean, cybersecurity and your personal information and what puts out there or what is put out there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There's already a lot of memes and images that are going out there about like who's at the head of the table and who he's bringing in to be on the team. Yeah. So it does not take long for all of that chatter to start.
Do you think most teachers? I think most teachers or most of the newer teachers aren't on Twitter as much anyway. I've noticed that like Twitter and LinkedIn tend to be most of the administrators that I'm trying to reach. Teachers are what? TikTok and Snapchat a little bit, but Instagram a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Facebook communities too. Some of them, which are good, but yeah, I prefer Twitter and LinkedIn, especially those communities on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Time will tell, right?
Yeah.
It's scary, guys. It's a scary world out there.
Oh my gosh.
All I can think of is all those movies.
You know,
all I can think of is the end times and the rapture right now.
Oh, geez.
Wait, I might have. Let me see if I've got that soundtrack ready. I mean, I did do a trivia night last night, so I might have some soundtracks here. Let me play this one real quick. And just real quick before we leave, we'll see if you can guess. Now, what is this the theme song from? Oh, wait, I got to change it through my speakers. I can hear it through my headphones. Let me switch here.
Ooh, I just got chills.
Ooh, I just got chills.
What is that?
Was that Michael Myers or?
No, wait. Listen to this one, though.
It's not Halloween.
That's Halloween.
Yeah, that's Halloween, yeah.
This is. They do like the piano, though. You notice that in a lot of these scary movies?
Yeah.
This is the first movie, the first horror film ever to get an Academy Award nomination for the young actress by the name of Linda Blair. She was 15.
Oh, it was The Exorcist.
Yes.
Wow.
Scariest movie I've ever seen, hands down.
Yep, me too. That's my number one scary.
Yeah.
Rachelle?
I got chills right now. I don't know.
What's your number one scary movie?
Probably The Exorcist.
Yeah, Poltergeist is pretty creepy too.
It was.
There's actually a show that just came out on Netflix that has the Guinness Book of World Records for the most jump scares ever in an episode. I haven't seen it yet.
Is it the one with that guy that he's like he gets the cell phone in his?
Oh, not Mr. Harrigan's cell phone, but that is
Mr.
based
Harrigan's, because I stopped watching that last night. My husband turned it on and then he was falling asleep and I'm like, dude, are you gonna watch this with me? He's like, no, and I'm like, well, I'm not watching this by myself. I was like, God, it's gonna get scary.
It's called The Midnight Club, apparently. And I've heard a couple of people tell me about its episodes, but one of the episodes is in the Guinness World Record for the most jump scares. And I feel like you can only have so many of those because, like, at some point you're just like, there's another. Like, I'm having a problem here. I'm having a fit, but no. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, thank you, Carl, so much for joining us today, and congratulations on all 6 of your books, and all of that. 7. I'm sorry, all 7 of your books.
7 days.
7 books and all of your trivia nights that other people are invited to that I'm not.
You're coming to Nicegate though, and I'm going to see you at Nicegate, and you get to get up and do a dance with me during the middle of your yes.
Oh yeah.
Practice your dance moves and know your music trivia. I'm just going to tell you. I think you got this.
Yeah, I think she's got this too, especially if it's 80s, man. She is on it.
Oh my God, don't say that because then I'll fail. I'm afraid to fail. I don't want to be a failure.
Yeah, I've had to. That's okay to fail. It's okay.
It is okay to fail. Ready, set, fail.
Yay! I don't know what that was. Yay!
All right, bye everybody. Have a great Halloween. Don't get scared too much on Twitter and all that good stuff. And we'll see you again next week.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.